You know, sit. Coffee. Up.
Professional video making.
Stop making the noise.
Because I stopped, like I ground it all. I don't have your ear. Could be a bit high on these.
Hold it up.
He's happy.
Good morning. We've come out this morning to have a look at the olive trees and see which ones have got olives on them and count how many we're going to be harvesting this year. And I have had a complete change of clothes. Yes, I got sicked on. Sun has nothing.
That tree has literally 2 olives.
This is the first time in 3 years that we're, I think, actually going to manage the harvest. The first year that we came here, we had just bought the land and we bought it in February, which was really late for an olive harvest. But there were a lot of olives and we picked a few and we made, we brined them and salted them and jarred them and we made like olives in jars. The next year there were just no olives. That was 2022, was it? Yeah, no one had any olives, I don't know why. And this year, it's not a great year, but there are some trees that have some. So we're gonna have a look, mark on a map which ones we're gonna be picking, count them, see if we're gonna need any help with that or whether we can manage it ourselves, get a rough idea of how much we're gonna get. And yeah, hopefully harvest olives for the first time in 3 years. This one's looking pretty good, I'll mark this one. Just now we took some pictures with the drone from above so that I could mark on the map where the trees are that we're going to harvest, and I'm circling them in red so that we know where they are. Another cool thing to do would be to try and identify some of the varieties, which I really know nothing about, but a lot of them just look really different, so I'm sure we've got lots of different varieties going on here, and I will take some pictures as we go around so that I can maybe try and identify them later on when I get back to the computer. So we're over in the drylands field now, and it looks like about half the trees here have got olives on. These ones are looking pretty shriveled, but maybe they'll still be alright for oil. Not really sure. Barely anything on this tree. I think this was the tree that we got loads from the first year, and we just filled bags and bags and bags of them and pickled them all. Luna, what are you doing? Come on, this way. This one's got nothing, 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 nothing. Oh, this one looks pretty good. So with the olives, the darker they are, the riper they are. So the same tree can have darker olives and lighter olives depending on how far advanced you are in the season. And when they get dark and juicy like this, you can literally see how full of juice they are, and they produce a lot more oil, so the yield is higher. However, it's generally accepted that the greener and less ripe the olives are, the higher quality or the tastier the oil is. So you kind of have to draw your line somewhere and decide whether you want to go for a higher yield or a tastier oil. A lot of people go somewhere in between and they harvest their olives when the tree is like half turned, and that's probably what we'll do as well. A lot of our trees actually still have fully green olives on them, but some of them, like that one that you just saw, is starting to turn, so I think maybe a couple of weeks and we'll be able to do it. Okay, there's just 2 terraces left to check now. Nothing on any of these trees on this terrace. Quite a few almonds on some of these trees though. I wish we'd got a chance to harvest them this year, but we didn't. Oh my god, I almost forgot this tree, which is by far the best tree we have. This is just hanging over the side of the track on the way down. It's growing in front of the ruin. Whoa, look at this branch. It's so heavy, it's completely fallen over. So I'll mark this one on our map as well. Whoa, look at that branch up there. It's just completely heavy with olives. Good morning and welcome back to another video, although I think we're maybe halfway into the video by now, but hello anyway. So yeah, as you've seen, we've been watching the olives closely the last few weeks, and I think we're actually going to do them this week. We are going to join with some neighbours who have much more olive trees than us, and we're going to add our few baskets in with theirs. We're probably not going to have a massive harvest, but we're going to add ours to theirs and take them all to the press together. That way we get, we meet the criteria, the quantity for pressing in a single batch, because all three of us don't use any pesticides or anything on our olives, so that means that we can get all of our olives pressed together, not with like everybody else's, and we get back our oil and we'll know that it's organic. So we're going to do that, which is really exciting, and it looks like it's going to be this week because they want to take their olives in about a week from now, so we've got to have ours ready for that. So I'm taking a lot of walks at the moment with Santi to get out of the way because we've had a lot of kind of chaotic stuff going on in the house. Right now Mauro is just moving all of the stuff from our upstairs room into our downstairs room. I will tell you more about what's going on with that next week, but we're having some pretty major changes done on the house. So one thing we've been working on is the kitchen. We are working on the final piece of brickwork for the final countertop that we've decided we wanted. Mauro has been working really hard on that. You saw us start that last week, I think, and he is continuing to work on it in snatches of time that we get.
So I'm gonna cut all the half bricks for the kitchen table, and because it's cloudy we have to do it with the generator.
See if you can actually see anything through these. I tried to fix them.
Probably not.
Well,
thank you.
Let me know.
Sorry, I'm not very photogenic today. I have a lot of allergy and not enjoying my face right now, but I've done all the half bricks, and yeah, let's see if my measurements were correct.
If you had to do the kitchen again, would you use bricks?
I think cabinet making is a craft that I don't have years of my life to learn, so I think it's easier to build these cabinets with bricks than to make really nice cabinets out of wood. Like, you need a lot more equipment and skill. So I don't like bricks, but like ideally if I could do it I would pay someone to make cabinets. So this is how far I got with the kitchen project. So on this area I've reached the height that I want, which is 6 bricks. I'm trying to match the height of the existing surface here. I probably will need a bit of extra height, so I'm going to put some bardos, some long bricks, long flat bricks here, and I probably will use some tile offcuts to compensate the height a bit, because I don't think it's enough. And then on this side I still have one more level, I think, because let's see, I want this to be, let's see if I can measure this. I want this to be this height, so I reckon probably 2 more bricks on that other side. This surface will be tiled, and this surface will have the stone and will be the main pizza making, bread making area. Even though I hate laying bricks, towards the end, it got better because the thing about bricks is that you're sort of building in 3D, so it's more satisfying the more you build up. While tiles, I think it's nicer to do, but it doesn't feel like you're achieving such a structure like with this.
So you're seeing a lot of time lapses lately in the videos, which I think is really fun, but really it's just because it's really easy for me to put the camera up and then go and do something else and be with Santi. So yeah, this is what Mauro has been doing in snatches of time over the last couple of weeks, and we haven't got the countertops on yet, but we're almost there. You might be thinking that this countertop sticking out in the middle of the kitchen is going to be super inconvenient, it's just in the way and we're going to be tripping over it all the time. That was a worry that we had, and what we did was put a load of building materials and stuff in the place where we were going to put the L for a few weeks beforehand to see how annoying it was, and it didn't cause us any issues at all actually. It's turned out to be a direction in the kitchen that we just never really cross, like we're never walking from one side to the other in that way, it turns out. And now that we've had the brickwork in for a couple of weeks, I can confirm it really isn't annoying at all. There's been no moment where I've been like, oh, this is annoying, I have to walk around this thing. So yeah, I think the L is positioned in the perfect place and it's going to give us a lot more space and a lot more surfaces without being annoying. And yeah, apart from our kitchen, another very exciting change happened the other day. Look what has just arrived. It's more doors and windows. And another part out here, which as you can maybe tell is going to go right there. We're just looking at one of the windows and it just feels too big. What is it?
Like 90 is this.
What? How is that going to fit?
So I was just with the guys, and as you saw, they were struggling to get out the frame. Like everything in this house is complicated, and yeah, the metal frame is like really dug into the cement. So yeah, they struggled for a while. I offered them coffee, but they rejected it. Their loss.
Good morning. We've just come on a bit of a long walk actually, to get out of the way of the workmen because they're using really loud tools at the moment. By the time we get back, hopefully they will have finished with breaking out the old frames and it'll be a bit quieter.
Esto es casi Genial.
So we've been hiding out in the kitchen, away from all the noise and the dust, and we're making use of our time in here by planning a cabinet that we're going to put up on the wall tomorrow. So we're just marking out where it's going to go. Center it horizontally, yeah.
That and that.
Well, what's the height? Because it might not fit.
65,
Like,
I think.
oh right.
So 65 is like there. If you hold it. The amount of light is crazy.
Yeah, it looks huge actually.
Let's close and see.
These builders are great, they've tidied up after themselves as well. Oh, it's going to be so good.
Yeah, just for the light, it just makes all the difference.
Yeah, this is crazy.
And I think when next time we start the fire,
This was the last, well, almost the last bit that needed sealing. there is one more little door we just keep ignoring, but yeah, 2 more doors properly sealed, so that's a big bonus.
Let's go look at the window upstairs.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this window, boy.
Oh, it looks great.
You can even put some furniture down there.
Yeah. I told them to leave the plaster like rough so that it matches the rest of the wall. They were going to smooth it all over, but actually it will look stupid if it's smooth and the rest of the wall is rough. I like this effect.
Finally put those tiles.
We can finish tiling this section here. And then the final door that we need to seal is this stupid little door here that goes onto the terrace. But we actually have a bit of an update about that door and the terrace and some other things, which we will show you in the next video, probably the next video. So hopefully this door is going to get sorted out soon as well. Now for the most satisfying part. There we go, all cleaned and polished. I know they're not the most amazingly beautiful doors in the world, it's just a basic PVC frame, but to me they are the best doors in the world. You have no idea how depressing it's been the last couple of winters with just no light in the house really at all. The only window we had was the tiny window in front of the office, and because that's in a corridor, the light didn't get anywhere else really into the house. The bedroom was dark, the living room was dark, and you don't want the doors open in winter, so having this amount of glass here is going to make such a difference. Just a couple of things left to do with these doors really. One of them is to paint and tidy up around the edges, but I think next year one of our big projects is going to be working on the outside area of the house, beautifying it a little bit, working on a patio area and some stuff like that, so we'll save that for then. Something we probably need to do sooner rather than later. I don't know if you can see, but we've got a little row of tiles here out the front, and then we've got a dip down into the level where the door sits, and we need to not have that dip because water will get in under there and potentially pool under there. Any condensation that comes out of the windows will end up kind of pooling under here as well. It's just not ideal, so we need to remove these slabs, and then we have like a flat surface coming out from underneath the door. On the inside we've got a good step down so that we've got space to tile, so that's been thought of. It's just this little gap down here that we need to sort out. And of course we also now have 2 doors left over, so we have this wooden door from upstairs which I really like and I really want to incorporate into some other project because I just love these old original wooden doors, and spent long enough staring at it from the bed that it's kind of got a place in my heart now, so hopefully we can use that in some project. And then we've got the metal door which is in pieces by the looks of things, so I don't know if we'll be able to reuse that for something. This door definitely doesn't have a spot in my heart, but maybe it'll be useful for something. Mauro absolutely hates these brackets though. I think they look quite good.
They're too big.
Yeah, but they have to be big to support it.
It could be a bit more discreet.
Yeah, it's great. Can I reach anything in it though? Oh yeah, I can reach that shelf. We found this thing by the bin originally. I might have already said that, but yeah, pretty good for a bin find.
Yeah.
So yeah, our new doors and windows, we're super happy with them. You might be wondering why we didn't just do this sooner, like it makes such a big difference to the house. Why was it not one of the first things we did? Well, the answer is partly money. You know, we got our kitchen window and door fitted a few months back. Well, we did all the doors and stuff in 2 parts because it's just expensive and we couldn't afford all of these made to measure windows and doors all at once, so we split it into 2 parts. But also, I think you probably can tell, but the kind of philosophy that we've had on this project since the beginning is that for us the most important thing was just to be able to live in the house and stop paying rent somewhere else and actually just get started doing the garden, having the animals, and just living the life that we want to live, even if it's not perfectly comfortable and done. So that meant living in the house as soon as it was basically livable, and that has meant that everything we've done has been more annoying and complicated because we've had to live amongst the building mess, and often we're clearing rooms, doing something, putting everything back, as we're doing today. And yeah, it's a lot of hassle, a lot of extra work, but it has meant that these last 2 years we've been able to actually live in and use the house and be on the land, which was our priority. And could have chosen to live in a tent or something, or live in some sort of temporary accommodation over this time, but it still would have taken the same amount of time to get these things done, because money still would have been a hindrance and our abilities and our time still would have been an issue. So we would have been living somewhere much less comfortable for a long time. And yeah, I think for us it was the right choice, trying to live in this house even though so many things needed fixing and were uncomfortable. And we're finally getting to the point where it feels like a proper home. So yeah, it's been a few really good changes this month, and one big change which is starting today, and I will tell you about next week. Anyway, that is all for this video, so thank you for watching and we will see you next week.